Hey everyone, today I'm showing you how AI governance automation works using AWS services, and I'm going to introduce you to a fictional company called Meridian Financial Services, and they're building an automated credit decisioning system for loan approvals. So under the EU AI Act, this is a high-risk AI system, and that means strict compliance requirements. The AiGE platform covers the EU AI Act, some GDPR, ISO IEC 5259 data quality standards, and ISO 42001, amongst others. And that's just the core framework. And because this is a financial services company, we also analyze against US regulations, Equal Credit Opportunity Act for fair lending, the Fair Credit Reporting Act for consumer protection, and Basel III for risk data aggregation. These are just some extra industry specific additions for this case, but they're not part of the actual AiGE system. So here's how it works. AWS Sagemaker Data Wrangler is Amazon's tool for preparing machine learning data. It does transformations, cleaning, feature engineering, but it doesn't tell you if your data is compliant with regulations. And that's where AiGE comes in. We connect to Sagemaker Data Wrangler, pull the prepared data set, and then run it through our Fabric patterns. And these are AI-powered prompts based on ISO standards and EU AI Act requirements. Fabric then analyzes the data for quality, bias, fairness, and regulatory compliance, then generates comprehensive reports automatically. So we're taking SageMaker's data preparation capabilities and adding a complete AI governance layer on top. SageMaker gets your data ready, AiGE makes sure it's legally compliant. Now, the traditional approach would be about 40 hours of manual analysis, about $6,000 per assessment, and around 5 to 7 days turnaround. So let me now show you the automated approach using AWS Lambda, DynamoDB, and S3. First, let's look at the Lambda function that runs the AI governance assessment. I'm going to search for Lambda in the AWS console. So here's the Lambda console, and this is where our serverless function lives. And I'm going to click into AiGE SageMaker integration. And you can just see an overview of the page here, the main page or the function page. So this Lambda function is the bridge between SageMaker and AI governance. And here's what it does. Step 1, it connects to the customer's AWS SageMaker data wrangler flow using cross-account IAM roles. This is secure, and customers grant us read-only access with an external ID for additional security. Step 2, it pulls the prepared data set from Data Wrangler, and this could be thousands or millions of records that SageMaker has already cleaned and transformed. Step 3, it runs the data set through Fabric patterns. And for those that don't know, Fabric is an open source AI prompting framework. We've created custom patterns that embody, for example, ISO 5259 data quality standards, the EU AI Act Article 10 requirements, and bias detection methods, all encoded as structured AI prompts. Step 4, the Fabric pattern analyzes the data and generates two outputs: an ISO 5259 JSON report with quantitative scores for 10 quality characteristics, and a comprehensive markdown compliance report with regulatory analysis and remediation recommendations. Step 5, it stores everything in S3 encrypted files, tracks the assessment in DynamoDB for audit trail, and returns the results. So SageMaker Data Wrangler does the data engineering, AiGE adds the governance intelligence layer using AI-powered analysis through Fabric's patterns. And you can see that we've got 512 megabytes of memory and 512 megabytes of ephemeral storage, which is adequate enough for processing large data sets. The timeout's 5 minutes, which is more than long enough for complex analysis. So let me show you a completed assessment for Meridian Financial. So now if I go over to DynamoDB, I'm going to go to tables. And then I'm going to look for AiGE AWS integration requests, which I can see right here. So the Lambda function tracks every assessment in DynamoDB. So every AI governance assessment gets a record here. It's basically our audit trail. So we're now going to go to the Explore Items tab. And we're going to click into Meridian Financial right here. So you can see here we've got a ton of metadata, such as things like integration ID, client ID, the status. What else have we got? Dataset name, flow name, intended use, organizational context, and overall quality score. And we've got some ISO 5259 paths there. So as you can see, everything is tracked, and this is full audit trail for regulators. Now let me show you where the actual detailed reports are stored. That's in the S3. So I'm now going to go to our S3. So now let's look at where the detailed results are stored. And this is S3, which is AWS's object storage service. And we're looking for AiGE results 20475. That's this one right here. So I'm going to click into this. So this bucket stores all the assessment outputs, the ISO 5259 data quality reports, and the comprehensive compliance reports. Everything is also encrypted at rest with AES 256. So we're going to go into the assessments folder. You can see I've run some other tests here as well, but we're not going to be using those for now. We're going to click into Meridian Financial. And then finally the Meridian Financial folder. So now you can see here we've got an ISO 5259 output.json file. First, we're going to go back and we're going to look in Compliance Reports folder, Meridian Financial. And you can see we've got a report.md file here to be explored. So these folders structure everything by assessment type, client, and integration ID. And this report will include things such as the EU AI Act, GDPR, ECOA, FCRA, and Basel III, and everything's in Markdown file. So let me now download these and show you what's inside. So let me first download the ISO 5259 report first. So as you can see here, here's the comprehensive data quality assessment using ISO IEC 5259 version 1 from 2024. And that's the international standard for AI data quality. So if we just look at the metadata section here at the top, you can see we've got assessment ID, which has the client and the dataset name. We've got the framework that it's being tested against. And we've got around 487,352 records analyzed. Here, if we look at the quality score, they've scored 87.4 out of 100. And that's actually quite good. And then below this, we have around 10 data quality characteristics. You can see here for accuracy, they've scored 91.5 out of 100. So the status is a pass. Credit scores validated against 3 major bureaus. Where's that? 98.2%. So credit scores validated against external credit bureau data, 98.2%. Income verification completed, 94.1%. You can see for completeness, they've scored 82.3. You can see we've got findings and recommendations littered throughout the document. We've got consistency, 88.7. And this is the degree to which data is free from contradiction within and across data sets. So that's also considered a pass, with a list of findings there as well. For currentness, they scored 93.2. Now, currentness is the degree to which data is up to date for the task at hand. That's also a pass. We've got credibility, which is the extent to which data is regarded as true and believable by users. And that's at 89.8, and that's also a pass. Accessibility, the 91%, that's also looking good. You can see compliance here, which is the degree to which data adheres to applicable regulations and standards. And this is at 78.2, which is classed as a warning. And then there's also a list of findings. For example, here, EU AI Act Article 10, training data documentation is partly complete at 67%. For America, Fair Credit Reporting Act, adverse action notices implemented. What else have we got? ISO 42001, AI risk management controls documented but not yet audited. GDPR, data minimization principle has been violated. There's 14 fields collected but only 8 used in the model. Another interesting point here is representativeness, which is the degree to which data accurately reflects the target population. And they scored 72.1, which is considered a fail. And this is labelled as critical. Age distribution is skewed, as 68% of applicants are aged between 25 and 40, and only 12% aged 50. Another critical issue is geographic bias detected, 71% of applications from urban areas and 29% rural. And then you can see we've got another bunch of details here and results. Data quality dimensions, tested on accuracy, consistency and credibility, contextual quality, representational quality, regulatorial quality. And you can see here under risk assessment, the overall risk level is medium to high. Issues with bias and fairness, potential violation of the Equal Credit Opportunity Act and EU AI Act Article 15. There's a bunch of data here. Please do pause and read if you want to look at more detail or look in more detail. So then we've got a bunch of recommendations here with a priority number as immediate and steps or effort that they can take or time frames to resolve these issues. And also the business impact. And here you can see some information about our systems process. So I'm now going to click into the compliance report. And I'm going to download this. And open my folder. Let's see if I can load it with. You have to be cursor. Okay, so here you can see the AI governance compliance report, and this is where it gets really detailed. This is around 41 kilobytes of regulatory analysis. If you just look at the structure, this is complete audit ready compliance report. We've got the executive summary and the overall quality score 87.4, but risk level medium to high. And there's key recommendations, as you can see here, that says do not deploy to production until these issues are addressed, with an estimated time for remediation. So the system is telling Meridian Financial straight up, do not launch this. So if you look here at the regulatory status, we can see amber for the EU AI Act, as they are partially compliant at 67%, and there's documentation gaps. Similar story with GDPR, partially compliant at 72%, with data minimization issues. As you can see here with the critical issues requiring immediate action, we've got AiGE distribution again, urban rural geographic bias, incomplete EU AI Act Article 10 documentation, and again issues with GDPR. And you can see just the level of detail that's passed out into the report. Metrics are included, recommendations, business impact, all great for showing, or if you need to sort of rally senior leadership behind you, then you've got some clear English language to show them and data to back that up. See if we can find anything else juicy. So accessibility is looking good. We can see here, again, just compliance issues, 78.2, it's a warning, they're not out of the woods just yet. Article 10 issues here, Article 13 and Article 15 issues about transparency, accuracy and robustness. FCRA compliance is looking good. ECOA compliance is okay, I guess. We've got a bunch of recommendations there which are all critical. See what else we can find. Okay, what's this? Efficiency definition, extent to which data meets needs with minimal resource consumption, storage optimization, data size optimized from 12.1 gigabytes to 2.3, 81% reduction, partition by application date for efficient query pruning. Representativeness was a main issue for them. You can see it's clearly labeled out here as to why. Statistical tests, chi-square test shows significant deviation from US census data. And again, it's providing warnings or impacts, high risk of age discrimination under the ECOA. And the model trained on this data may systematically disadvantage older applicants. And as you can see, as I'm scrolling, just the sheer detail in this report, as it's drawing from so much different documentation, it's just a treasure trove of information for all different business functions. You know, this isn't just nice words and telling you what to do. This is hard evidence that you can act on, basically. And I feel this is why AI governance engineering is the future for this industry, because I can't see how small to medium enterprises who don't have the financial capabilities or the labor capabilities to implement or purchase or build these kind of tools while staying compliant and building their own products. I just don't see how it's possible. And that was the main issue I wanted to try and solve. And that's mainly for myself, you know, taking an interest in governance, especially within the AI industry, and then just becoming a bit tired of seeing the sort of the AI regurgitated posts that people trying to jump into this industry were doing. It was like, well, is this all it is? We're going to just keep telling businesses they need to be ethical and create unbiased systems. And it's like, well, how's that going to happen? And I didn't want to be a part of that circus, so to speak. It's not my character. That's when I just decided, okay, using the tools that are available nowadays and my ideas, let me just try something. And, hopefully you guys will also see the benefit in some of these tools for when the EU AI Act comes into, full power next summer. So you can see here, it's just giving more detail about the findings about GDPR violation. 14 fields collected, only 8 used. Unused fields, and it's got the details listed there. So again, it's so rich in information that you can act on rather than just walking around like headless chickens. The fines included as well. It's telling you what to do. Remove these 6 unused fields from data collection forms, and then update your privacy policy to reflect the reduced data collection. Just brilliant. You've got a much more clear prioritized remediation roadmap here. P1, stuff you need to do straight away, basically. And again, everything's just highlighted and, made clear this is a go, or this is middle of the road, amber, or just stop. We're not compliant. We're not ready to go to market. Then you've got a final conclusion. Meridian Financial Services credit risk AI system demonstrates strong technical data quality with an overall score of 87.4 out of 100. The data pipeline, security controls and accuracy are excellent and production ready. However, critical representativeness issues create unacceptable discrimination risk. with focused remediation over 4 to 6 weeks and a sort of rough estimation of the cost. The system can achieve full regulatory compliance and fair, accurate credit decisioning for all applicants. And you've got appendices of the documents and tools that was used to process your company's data. And all this was generated in around 30 seconds compared to weeks with traditional consultants. But here's the real value in this is risk mitigation. Meridian Financial was about to deploy an AI system with age bias that would discriminate against older applicants, geographic bias, disadvantaging rural customers, GDPR violations, collecting unused data, and only 67% compliant with the AI Act. They didn't know, but 30 seconds of automated analysis caught what would have cost them up to 20 million in GDPR fines, age discrimination lawsuits, reputational damage, being forced to shut down their AI system, and their inability to deploy in EU markets. And at this rough guesstimate of around $56,000, that's a bargain compared to the multi-million-dollar fines and lawsuits they might face. So again, this is why AI governance automation on AWS matters. It's serverless, there's no infrastructure to manage, it's scalable, it can literally handle thousands of assessments per month. It's secure, it's built on AWS enterprise-grade security, it's comprehensive with multiple regulatory frameworks, it's actionable, it's not just problems but solutions with effort. So I just wanted to first of all show you the raw data that came into AWS from Meridian Financial before we added our AiGE layer over the top. So let's have a look at the original analysis JSON file. So as you can see here, it's just, if you're a data scientist, this might all make sense. But if you were showing this to leadership who needed to act on this, you can see clearly it's not telling them anything. Approved, denied, you've got counts and percentages. It's just not in a language that's going to resonate or make any sense. However, so if we just look side by side at the difference in the raw data that you would get from Sagemaker's data Wrangler. Again, for those that understand all of this stuff, it might make complete sense. But then if you look on the right and the detail that we've managed to extract from this and present in a sort of human readable format and one that businesses can act on, I think there's no question that AiGE adds another layer to already excellent services provided by AWS. I mean, it's just, you can see we've taken all of this raw data and we said, okay, well, how does this align the business with the sort of the best, arguably the best global standards in the ISO IEC 5259 series, and then how is it actually tying in even further with compliance on this specific issue just for this one business function. And if you think that we can apply this to all different parts of the AI system life cycle, different kinds of AI systems, you can really begin to see just how powerful this is. This information on the left only means something to some people, whereas most humans could read this here and then act on it. So if you're building high-risk AI systems, anything in finance, healthcare, hiring, law enforcement, anything under the EU AI Act Annex 3, you're going to need automated governance. The EU AI Act is law, and full enforcement starts next year, and the fines are real. The regulations aren't optional. And I'm speaking primarily to small to medium enterprises. The same regulations apply to you as they do to large companies. So thank you again for watching this technical demonstration of this tool that I've created. Hope I've showed it in the best light possible. And if you've got any questions, please do drop me a message or drop a comment in the video's comment section, or check out www.aigovernanceEngineering.com to see more things that I'm working on. So I'm Gavin. Thank you for taking your time. Goodbye.